Like I said, man, he is the owner of Hellgate Boxing Club in Astoria, New York, doing big things in the world of boxing. He's my guy, so we got to give him a warm DHS welcome. It's the first time we've had him up here, and I'm excited to get him aboard. My brother, Coach Eric Roman, ER. What's good,
What's
champ?
good, my boy? How you, Johnny?
Man, you already know, man. Thank you, man. Thank you for jumping on, man. And more importantly, man,
No
thank you for
doubt.
always showing love, man. I appreciate you, man.
No doubt, brother. No doubt.
Listen, man, I love what you're doing, man. I love what you're doing. And you know, I'm a fan, man. And anything I can do
hmm
to support, I'm here, man. You
Sounds
know.
good, man. I appreciate you.
So what's good, man? Talk to me, man. Introduce yourself to the audience, bro.
I'm Coach ER. I'm originally from Brooklyn, Bushwick, like my brother Johnny here.
Let's go. Let's
Yes,
go.
sir. Just recently moved out to Astoria, Queens, my gym and everything out that way. I own Hellgate Boxing Club, where basically, man, we just giving back to the youth in the area. You know what I'm saying? It's like a poor area of Queens, the poor side of Astoria, Queens, where we got a bunch of project buildings out there. If anybody knows about New York, the projects is like still roofless.
Mm.
And I'm just trying to help out and save the young kids, man. You know what I'm saying? And do what I do, Chris, create champions, create millionaires.
That's what's up, man. Listen, if you
hmm
guys got any questions or comments that you want to make sure gets read to Coach Eric Roman, the best way to get that across is via super chat because the chat's cooking right now, and I can't monitor and determine what the comments are from the questions. So again, it will come up as a start message. Y'all know the deal. But Coach, before I even ask you any questions, man, is
hmm
Astoria Pool still out there?
Yeah, it's funny. They just
Wow.
renovated it too. And
Wow.
I took a little walk because my gym is actually like 2 blocks down from the pool.
Oh
So we
shit.
like right there by the park. I got the track and everything there. So my fighters go and they run the track. And as you know, the pool is right next to the track. So yeah, man. I saw it in the summertime when we opened up this summer, July 1st. And I said, yo, let me go take a little walk over here. I remember coming here as a kid. And I
Mhm.
was like mind blown, yo. I got sent back to the 80s, my boy. I was like, whoa, bro. I remember I used to get the little icy, the Italian icy right here. You had the glizzy guy on the other side over here. Like, yo, this shit was crazy, man. But it was cool, man. A little blast on the past. They still there. They opened up. It's nice and clean now. It's cool.
Coach, we used to obviously we grew up in Bushwick. We used to walk it. A bunch of us used to troop that shit,
Crazy,
not
bro.
take the train. We
That's
used to
it.
walk to
That shit
Astoria
is it.
Pool
That's a
early
that's a
in the morning.
long walk,
We
brother.
used to hike
No
it, man.
joke.
We did it a bunch of times, spend the day there, you know the deal, and then wow, I haven't been in that area in so long. I'm gonna try to pass by and check you out because I will be in back in New York. I'm coming down for that fight card on
Okay.
January 31st.
Nice,
Uh
nice. All right,
yeah.
cool.
So
So we link up. I'll be
yeah,
there.
yeah. I'm gonna link up with you. I'm gonna try to see if I can get down to the gym and check it out, man. Because this
Yeah,
is
no
new,
doubt.
right? When it's
Yeah.
not even been a year.
No, it's been so July 1st we open. You know.
Wow.
Yeah, we were in
You were in Bushwick before. I mean, in Brooklyn, right?
yeah, I had a gym, Williamsburg Boxing Club, and then that fell through with the owner of the building. So we left there and we ended up going to a gym in Bushwick. And I kind of just like that was when I had put out I had like a nice little sparring day that day, and I brought a lot of like the media and out there. I brought them to that gym,
Mhm.
Bushwick Boxing Club. But I kind of felt like they were shutting down as well. Like they were starting to fall apart a little bit. And I was like, you know what, man? I'm gonna open my own joint, like my own shit that's mine. You know what I'm saying? And forget all these people I'm working with. It's just gonna be me. And that's what we did, man. We put it on the map, man. And now we got Hellgate Boxing Club. We named it after the river that's it's part of the East River. It's called Hellgate, which is if you know the East River, which turns
Mhm.
into the Harlem River.
Mhm.
That right before it turns to the Harlem River, that's all called Hellgate. And it's because the boats that used to go through that waterway back in the like early 1900s, they all used to sink there. So they ended up realizing like you couldn't get through there unless you had like a crazy big ass fucking ship that was badass. And so I kind of like that name. And I said, yo, that's how our gym is gonna be. It's gonna be like, yo, you can't come through here unless you're a badass. You know what I mean? Like so we kind of adopted that name, and that's it. That was the creation of Hellgate Boxing Club.
Amazing, man. I just want to salute
Hmm.
you for that, man. You know, like I
No
said, I'm
doubt.
in your corner, man. You winning. That's what I'm talking about, man.
Yes, sir. Yes,
You
sir.
know, you win, we all win. That's what's up, man. It's
Hmm.
best sport in the world, man. But tell everybody. So again, I want you to talk a little bit about introduce like what you worked with a lot of different fighters throughout the years, man.
Yeah.
Talk to us
Yeah.
about some of the fighters that you worked with.
Well, as a lot of people always know that I trained Edgar Berlanga in the amateurs. He's still like family to me. It's like my little brother. I got mad love for him, his pops, his moms, like his whole family. We all still close. We all good. I work with Richardson Hitchins. Everybody knows he's champ of the world. Um, he was stuck in a contract with Mayweather for a long time. I helped him get out of that. Got him with Keith Connolly, and then that's how everybody, started to find out who he really was. In a matter of 2 years, really, he became a world champion and a millionaire.
Yep.
I work with a kid named Khalil Cole,
Hmm.
from Jersey City, bad motherfucker, like knockout king, probably, you know, no disrespect to none of the other fighters I've worked with, but talent wise, athletically, probably the best talent I've ever worked with. Khalil Cole,
Wow.
pure power, great boxing ability, great jab. He had all the attributes that, sometimes just gets in his head a little bit. That's why he has a couple of, the loss and the draw on his record. But obviously made up for those two, and got them back. But also work with a kid named Harley Medeiros who signed with Matchroom right now. I don't know if you ever heard of him. He's
I have.
half
Yep.
half
Mhm.
half Puerto Rican, half Cuban. I trained him for years. He's had a stellar amateur career, 17 national championships, won a gold medal overseas, did a lot in the amateur boxing game, turned pro, got with Eddie Hearn. Now he's 9-0, I believe, with 8 knockouts. So those are some of the guys I work with right now. I work with a kid named Ramon Ordonez. He was the number one in the nation at 132. He was on Team USA. He just fought in the World Championships out in Liverpool in England.
Which one was
Um,
that? The Grand Prix?
no, that was the World Championships,
Okay.
like the
Okay.
legit World Championships. He did pretty good. He lost to the eventual gold medalist, the Brazilian who fought in the 2024, the 2024 Olympic Games. And he did well for himself just at 18 years old. So he's next on the map. He's looking to do big things. And I mean, we working, man. You know what I'm saying? Like we trying. We just working, perfecting our craft. You know what I'm saying? Like I stay humble. I don't talk much. You know what I'm saying? I don't do many podcasts. I don't do many, interviews, so when I do it's because I got something to say. You know what I'm saying? And right now what I gotta say is I got a hot gym on the mat. Everybody comes through there, you know what I'm saying? I already had Subriel there, I had Edgar there, Hitchins, we having fun. You know what I'm saying?
Amazing, man. Thank you, man. Because I know, yeah, I don't be seeing you around here, man, on these YouTube streets like that.
Yeah,
You
I'm low
work,
key, man. I'm low key, bro. You know.
but
I
I, but
try to stay out the mix.
but I thank you because when I reached out to you, I was like, Coach, I got to get you on. You was like, yeah, yeah, what's up? Like I
No
was like,
doubt.
Coach don't
No
be
doubt.
doing that with everybody, man. So,
Yeah. Yeah,
salute
no
to
doubt.
you, man. Salute to
Listen,
you.
I show love, where when it's my own people, especially, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, nobody else is gonna put us on the map. So we gotta back each other up, you know what I'm saying? And especially it's not just a Boricua, but it's a Bushwick Boricua. So, you know what I mean? Like that's something for me. I commend you, man. You come a long way and you're doing your thing. So
We
I'm here.
working, man. We trying, but you guys, like the trainers, the fighters, y'all inspire me, man. Because I be
Hmm.
in gyms, I be talking. I mean, like I see the work y'all put in, so it inspires me. Like, okay, so I'm not in the gym, but I got to put the same work here, to
Yeah,
perfect my
absolutely.
craft and become a champion. Like y'all want to become a champion
Facts.
in the ring, I want to become a champion in this podcasting game. So
Hmm.
yeah, man, it's all about
I hear
work,
you.
man. Hard work and dedication, man. So continue, man, doing what you're doing. But what? So before we get into like some other stuff with some of the
Hmm.
fights, I want to get your breakdowns in, but why boxing, man? Tell us a little bit about what got you to this point, man. Training fighters.
Um,
When did that passion start?
It's funny. I was just telling somebody this story in the gym earlier. They asked me, you know Johnny Boy from Fight Hype.
Yep,
He's
I know
another
Johnny Boy.
Bushwick. He's another Bushwick Boricua. Johnny Boy was at the
I
gym
didn't, I
today.
didn't, I didn't know he was from Bushwick. Get out of here.
Yeah, me and him. He grew up a block away from me. He grew up on Saddam. I grew up on Hart Street
So I was gonna ask you
and
what part
Bushwick
of
Ave.
Bushwick. So
Yeah,
Bushwick and Saddam, okay, because I was on Bleecker
he
between those
he.
two.
Johnny Boy's from Bushwick and Saddam. I'm from Bushwick and Hart Street.
Okay, I
Yeah,
got you. Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So
Damn,
we
I didn't know
actually
that.
grew up right around the corner from each other.
I gotta
Yeah,
connect with him, man. Yeah,
yeah. Johnny's a great dude, man.
just to
That's
say
my
what's up,
boy.
man. Just to network, man. Like, yo,
Word,
what's
word,
up?
facts.
I've been watching him too, man. He's
Real
doing
good
his thing,
dude.
man.
Yeah, real good dude.
Okay.
But yeah, I was just telling him today because he was like, "Yo, how you got? What was the start?" He asked me the same question. I said, "It's funny because you never, it's something when you get into something in life and then you meet the person that actually got you really like hyped up about it. And for me, it was Mike Tyson. Like most of us from Brooklyn looked up to him. But I remember the date, and I'll tell you a funny story. I met Mike Tyson, right? And they introduced me as a coach or whatever, right? And it's a few years back. This is probably like maybe 10 years ago. And he says, "Oh, you a coach? Yeah, yeah, man." I said, "You know what? I'm a coach because you got me into this, you know." And he said, "What you mean?" And I said, "January 22nd, 1988." And he was like, "What's that date?" And I said, "That's Mike Tyson versus Larry Holmes."
Mm,
And he was like, "Well, damn." He was like, "Yo, how old were you?" I said, "I was 7 years old, man." He
wow.
said, "What, man?" He looked at me like this. He said, "Man, you make me feel old, man." I started laughing. But I'm like, "Yeah, man." I was sitting with my pops on the couch. My pops was like, "Yo, come watch this," you know. So I went. We were in Brooklyn, and I'm sitting there and I'm looking at this guy. And my pops is telling me like, "Yo, he's from Brooklyn. Like this dude is a monster. You gotta." So I was like dumbfounded, like, "Nah, this guy. I want to be like this guy, bro." You know. And that was it, man. That was like the start of it all. You know, from that point on, I just wanted to be a boxer, and I ended up moving to Miami at 11 years old. My mom moved us out to Miami,
Hmm.
and she knew I had a passion for boxing, and she found a gym for me. She didn't want me to go out there and just not do nothing. She wanted me to make friends, all that shit. So she found a boxing club, and she took me over there, and the rest is history, man. I was 11 years old. I started boxing, and I never stopped. I never looked back, bro. I've been in the gym since then. The gym, besides my mom and my pops, the gym raised me. You know. So
No
it's
doubt.
credit to my mom who, she had a lot to do with this. She was the one that said, "Nah, I'm taking you to a gym. I'm
Dope.
gonna take you to the gym. I'm gonna pick you up from." Like she was basically like the driving force behind all of it. And my mom is gangster. You could bring her on your show, man. She knows everybody. She watches boxing. She's like
Let's
a
do it.
historian. She's no joke, bro. I call her like after the fights because she live out in Orlando.
So
So
she's right here, right in my
yeah,
neck
she's
of the
right there.
woods.
She
I'm
probably
like
live right
10
across the
minutes.
street from you.
I'm
But she
about
goes,
35, 40 minutes from Orlando. I'm
okay,
in and out of there because
yeah, she's right in the city. So I said, I call her like right after the fights. I'll call her up, and she'll be like, chacho, papi. And she'll just start telling me like whatever,
I
if
love it.
her fighter did good, she tell me. If not, she don't. And she'll be like, he wasn't using his jab, and she goes right in. I start laughing. Even to this day, I go, damn, ma, you the shit,
That's,
man. You the truth, bro.
that's
You know?
dope, man. Because usually, like I said, I mean, I've interviewed, I don't even know, hundreds of fighters, trainers, or whatever. When we ask these
Yeah,
questions about what got you into boxing, especially the fighters, they say, "Well, my mom didn't really want me in boxing."
yeah.
That's weird. That's different than
Yeah.
your mom was like,
I
"No,
mean, I
yes,
mean, she
yes,
would
yes."
she would tell you because she does say this story to people because me and my brother, it was both me and my brother that boxed, and she brought us both to the gym. But she will tell you like she hated us when we fought. She hated it. She was nervous, scared. She went through all the emotions, tears, everything. And but she knew that it was what we wanted to do, and so she was riding with us. You know what I mean? So my mom is a trooper, bro. She's no joke, man. She's like all about her sons.
God bless, man. God
Thank you,
bless.
bro.
And I'm sure you come down here to visit. You gotta let me
Yeah,
know next time
yeah,
you
yeah,
come
yeah.
down here.
Nah, no doubt. I will.
Literally right around the corner. I
Yeah,
go,
yeah, we'll do. We'll do.
perfect. That's what's up. Great. Did you fight any amateurs? Did
Yeah,
you fight
yeah.
any
Hell
amateurs?
yeah. Hell yeah. I won tournaments. I had my first amateur fight was in actually in the Golden Gloves in March of 1993. I was 12 years old.
Wow.
My first fight. Yep. Yep. And then my last fight was in 2006.
Mhm.
And then I kind of was already like done with it, but I had kids already at that time,
I
and
was gonna ask you, why didn't you pursue a pro career?
so I had I had at that time I had 3 children,
Okay.
and it's not easy to I mean, aside from that, it was me too. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and like bullshit around. Like, I was a menace in the streets, and out there. I lived in Miami, and it's like, yo,
Yeah.
it's hard to stay disciplined and
Nah, that's
focus
real.
on your
That's real.
career, and then I
Real.
had kids on top of that, and then it's
That's
like, yo,
real.
you got to make money and this and that. I ended up joining the military, and then I did my 4 years, and when I came home I had a few more fights, and then I was like, nah, man, I'm done, bro. I'm gonna just stick to like staying in the gym and working out. But then what drove me, I never wanted to be a coach, but what
Not
drove
now.
me to coaching, I felt like it wasn't for me, but I would sit in the gym and just stay with my coach. My coach is a Hall of Famer. His name is Dave Clark. He's a boxing genius. He had 4 world champions. I was in the gym with world champions, man. Like, it was, I had a hell of an upbringing in the boxing game. He taught me a lot. And once I realized like I couldn't really keep up with the young guns no more like I wanted to, and I took too much time off when I went in my military stint and all that. I tried to come back, and it was not easy, man. It was not easy. So I said, you know what, man, I'm just gonna sit here and chill out and just relax and work. But I started looking at these young kids, and I was going, bro, these kids suck, bro. Like, I can't sit here and just allow this to happen. My coach was old already, so he really didn't give a shit like to sit down with a young boy. You know what I mean? My apologies, man. I got a new baby now.
You good. No, you
So
good. You good, man.
what's up,
Smash
Papi? I'm
that
here.
like button, man. Smash
We-
that like button. We got Coach Eric Roman. We call him Coach ER. He's in the
That's
building
right.
from New York City. Make sure you guys smash that like button and show
Yeah.
him some love in the chat, man.
Yo, and I'll tell you a story about how they gave me that name. That's not Coach ER just because it's my initials. It's part of
Uh-oh.
it, but
I
but
I think I know a little bit about it. But go ahead. Cook, go
yeah,
ahead.
they
Put your apron
yeah
on.
they
Cook.
yeah they named me that because, well, it came about first because I would take a lot of fighters that were messed up or like almost broken, and I would fix them. And so they were like, "Yo, we're bringing them to the ER, man. This motherfucker fixes all the
Oh.
fighters." But then it turned into all my fighters was knocking niggas out and putting them in the ER. So
Love
then I
it.
said, yo, and so like the whole wordplay was like, that's my initials too. So everybody just took to it, and that was it. That was a history there. But back to what was I saying again about my bad, I'm punching a little bit.
Nope, you
Um
good. You good. You
yeah,
good.
yeah.
No, no,
So then that's what happened with my coach. I started picking his brain, and I started going, yo, how you do this? Yo, like, what's, and I started understanding boxing more, like more than I ever did. Like, once you start coaching, you start seeing things that you never saw as a fighter. And so I was like, wow, like, I'm seeing boxing from a different standpoint now, as a coach. And I just took a liking to it. And I started really like training the younger kids, the amateurs and everything. And we started winning shit, and I started going, damn, and my coach said, yo, that's it, man. Like, you about to be the truth, man. I'm telling you, like, he was like, you got it, bro. You got it. You're gonna be a great coach. And it just started, man, from there. That was probably like 2008, maybe,
no.
2009-ish, like around there. And then from there, that's it. I never stopped, bro. I started training fighters. I was blessed to have all these guys that I worked with, in the gyms that I was at. And you know what I'm saying? And we took off, man. You
That's
know,
dope. One question I got though, you were in Florida. What brought you back to New York? Especially Brooklyn.
that's a good question. Um, so like, first of all, there's no money in Miami, really, right? Like, you really, unless you see, I wasn't established as a coach yet, right? So to start out somewhere, I was like, damn, man, like, there's not really like any dogs out here in Miami. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of the kids come from good homes, especially where I was at the time. I was like, damn, there's not no real live dogs here, man. I want to go somewhere where people are hungry, like, I said, where better to go than back to my hometown in New York City, man. You know what I mean?
Mm,
There's animals out here, trying to become something, and I was hungry, so I came out here, I made the move. It was like spur of the moment, really, man. I just said, man, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. And I
mm.
did it. Came out here, I got to a gym right away. I started working with a few kids, end up going to like the Golden Gloves, end up winning that shit, end up going to all these local tournaments, winning them shits. Then I started going like, damn, like everybody started flocking towards me, you know. And then that was it. I ended up, in the right place at the right time. That's all I can say. And I owe all that to God, because
Everything
I
happens for a
I
reason, man.
yep. And I took the risk because I believe in God. I knew God had my back and I had no fear. I had no fear. And I just said, yo, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it right now. And I did it. And next thing you know, boom, I'm here I am now.
That's inspiring, man. It is
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of times, even me when I was younger, man, you want to do shit, but you're afraid to take that plunge, right?
Of course. Of
And
course.
I learned later on when I got older. Wish I had known all this shit when I was younger, growing up in Bushwick. Again, like you, not focused on what I needed to focus, wanted to run the
Mm-hmm.
streets, girl. You know the deal.
Of
You know
course.
the deal. You
Yep.
from Bushwick.
Yep.
I wish I knew what I know now that I didn't know back then. But sometimes you just gotta go for it.
Yep.
There's no failure in trying.
Yep.
And the fear of failure is what kind of pulls people from trying. Don't just
Yeah, but that's what kind of like pushed me.
mm,
It was the fear, like, yo, you really not gonna do this? Like, you just gonna walk away from it? You're just gonna nah? You gotta do it, man. I can't die, and knowing like, yo, I could have did something, but now it's like, yo, I've been on the big screen in Madison Square Garden. How many people can say they did that in this world?
dope,
You know what I'm
dope.
saying?
Yeah, no, absolutely, brother. Like I said, man, salute to you. Um, so in your gym, do you train what amateurs? You're like
Everything,
everybody, any
everything.
level is welcome.
Any level, what I'm saying? I got a coach for everybody, not everybody's gonna be trained by me, but what I'm saying, if you're an elite fighter, obviously you're gonna be trained by me. And I have a crew, I have a great assistant coach, who's like my brother. He the most loyal guy you could fucking imagine is my assistant, and I'm super proud of to have him and call him my brother. And that's my coach Joey, that everybody knows when they come through, they know who he is. And then, I work with a lot of these. When I work with these kids, I work with their parents. We got the kid Ramon Ordonez, his father Victor Ordonez, a hell of a coach. Great coach. Trained his son to be a monster. And now they brought me in to help out, and to do my ER thing. You know what I'm saying? And I think that kid has the sky's the limit for that kid. Like, he's one of them ones, as they say. He's one of them ones, and we got another one, man. And he's next up to become a world champion, a millionaire, to do all that stuff. And if you don't follow him now. His
Yeah,
Instagram
let
is
us know.
Ramon Ordonez.
Okay,
Follow him at that. Google him, whatever you gotta do. You can YouTube his fights. He's fought all over the world now since he was on Team USA. And he was the youngest member of Team USA, which is dope. He was winning, doing all those things at 18 years old, man. So
we got to get them on here, Coach.
yeah, we will. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Once we figure out what's gonna happen with his career going further, I don't want to make any announcements now, do anything like
Okay.
that, because we still like in talks and trying to figure out what we want to do, because he has options, you know what I'm saying? And that's one thing with me, man. When you come to me, I'm gonna get you the options. Like, these kids think that, a lot of these kids, they don't got that avenue. You know what I'm saying? They don't have the connections. They don't have, a way to make it out. Well, I do. So like, a lot of people come to me for that alone. You know what I'm saying? And but
That's a compliment to you.
no,
I
of
mean,
course,
again,
absolutely.
it's more than just boxing. You're also looking out for their livelihoods, their
That's
future.
that's my main concern. You know what I'm
That's it.
saying? Like
I was even
like
gonna
for
ask
me,
you how
yeah.
important is that to you compared to what you're making them as a fighter or as a
A individual, a human
individual?
being. For me, like, I'll give you an example. Africa, right? Richardson Hitchins was trapped in a contract with Floyd Mayweather for years. They had him on
Yep.
a bench.
Yep.
I didn't understand it. I was in the gym with this kid every day. I'm watching him spar some of the best fighters you love, right? You name him, he's been in the ring with them, and he's whooping them, and I'm going, bro, why is Floyd not making no move on this dude, man? You know what I'm saying? And it was really his love for Floyd that was kind of holding him back because for him, that was his idol. And being signed to him meant everything to him because he could just pick up a phone and call Floyd and be like, "Hey, Floyd,
Exactly.
man, blah blah blah," and Floyd would be like, "Yo," and he'd be like, "Oh man, he's on cloud nine."
Right.
And I'm looking at it like that's cool, but this is prize fighting.
Word.
Why are you not getting the prize,
Right.
right? And he just kept on like, nah, but I believe we're gonna win. And I kept saying, nah. So on the side, I was talking to Keith Connolly and I was telling him, like, yo, we were signing, he was in the process of signing my other fighter, Harley Medeiros. And we were going to meetings and I kept saying, like, yo, you gotta look to Africa, man. And at first he didn't want to sign him at all. Like he was like, nah, I'm not interested, man. I mean, I don't know. Can he fight, man? I don't
Why
I'm
was
like,
he not interested? Because
I
there was
think I think a lot of people talk about Africa, and the word is, oh, like he's quote unquote not a puncher, right? Like he's just a pure boxer or whatever. And I'm trying to tell him like, yo, bro, he has everything. He has everything. Sure, he's not a one punch knockout artist, but who is nowadays? Like that's rare. That's a rarity, right? But you have a kid that's such a pure boxer, man. Like he could one day, be on the pound for pound list and nobody knows this. Like this kid is just flying under the radar, right? So he was like, at one point he was just like, and he has a partner, and his partner, I brought his partner to the gym. And I said, you gotta watch this kid, man. So he watched him spar. And he was like, holy shit, like this motherfucker's a badass, bro. And I was like, I'm trying to tell you guys. So he was like, all right, I'm gonna call Keith. I'm gonna call him. So then Keith called me back. He was like, yo, man, all right, I'll talk to the kid, man. So now it was about getting Africa on board because he was all in with Floyd,
Mhm.
And like I said, everything, God is good. Everything happens for a reason. That was when Rolly signed to fight Tank, right?
okay. That was at
They
Bark. That was at
and
Bark.
they
Yeah, that
and
was
they
at
made that fight at Barclays.
Barclays. Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
Africa's like, oh, I'm good, bro. I'm telling you, bro. Look, Tank's fighting Rolly at the Barclays, man. We good. We gonna fight home, man. I'm gonna have my homecoming fight here with all. So all right, the card comes out and Hitchins is not on the card, and that was
Disgusting.
basically it, man. That was
Nasty.
basically it. He called me and he was like, "Yo, set up the meeting, man.
Good.
Fuck this." And I said, "All right, there we go." And at first he was a little iffy about it, and he did call Edgar. And Edgar told him, like, yo, are you crazy, bro? You better sign with that man. You know what I'm saying? Like he's getting us paid, bro. Like, you better do it. So then after all that, he finally said, all right, we set up the meeting. They went, boom, boom, boom. Next thing you know, 2 years later, the kid's a world champion and a millionaire. You know what I'm
That's
saying? Like,
yeah. No, that's what's up, man. He
it's
doing
a
big
beautiful
things.
thing.
Went to Puerto Rico and got that strap against Liam Paro, man. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Did you go to
Yeah.
Puerto Rico? Did you go to Puerto Rico for that?
No, I wasn't. My wife was pregnant at the time. So
Okay. I
yeah,
got you.
I just
I
stayed
got
home.
Nah, I hooked up with Africa once out here when he was here for a fight card. I did a quick interview with them
Yeah.
live, trying to get him on the show eventually to talk that shit because I just love his confidence.
Yeah.
He's from New York, bro. There's just
Yeah.
something different. This is something different
Brooklyn.
about
He's Brooklyn, man.
Brooklyn.
It's
There's something different about us, man.
yeah.
But yeah, man, I was a little disappointed though because I thought he was going to be on this card on the 31st, man.
Yeah. But, things happen, man. So like I said, trust the process, you know what I'm saying? Like I was just as shocked as everybody else that they put Keyshawn instead. I wasn't sure why that took place, but they got a plan, man. You know what I'm saying? And if everything falls into place, then it'll all make sense. You know what I mean? Like I spoke to him this morning
Mhm.
and I know who the new opponent is, you know what I'm saying? It's an opponent to get him ready for the big show. You know what I'm saying? So like he hasn't fought since he stopped Cambosis, which
Mhm.
was in June, I believe, right?
Mhm. Yep.
And
Yep.
so, he needs to get, back in there and get his feet wet again. And you know what I'm saying? Like He tried, bro. Like he wanted that Teofimo fight bad. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's unfortunate Shakur came in, intercepted it. You know, it's part of it's the business. You know, we can't be mad at it. You know, he's not mad at it. You know, it hurt him a little bit because he really wanted that fight. But it's cool. We get it. It's part of the business. You can't, hate the kid because, he didn't get the big fights that he wanted. You know what I'm saying? And then everybody's talking about, oh, why you don't fight Gary Antoine? Gary Antoine. Gary Antoine's with PBC, man. Don't nobody know
Can
what's
you
going on
explain?
with
I
them.
want you to explain that because we did have somebody in the chat. Somebody super chatted yesterday that said that he was a duck. Because
Yeah, nah.
again, I read the super chat. You know the deal. Make sure you guys smash that like button, man. Somebody was like Hitchins is a duck or whatever, and somebody was like, "How is he a duck or whatever?" So
Hell
explain
no.
that situation real quick.
It is what it is, man. You know, Gary Antoine is with PBC. Africa was a free agent, and a smart free agent now is not going to sign with PBC. He's not going to sign with Top Rank. Unfortunately, there's no TV money behind that. There's no money behind that. So, and look at them. What have they done lately? Like all them guys is sitting on the bench waiting, waiting, waiting. You can't be like that, man. You know what I'm saying? So he decided to sign with Eddie Hearn again. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That was
So
that was the man who got him the title shot and the money. You know, they explored a little bit. They went over to Golden Boy. They had their meetings everywhere. Eddie was the guy. They realized it. They said, "Nah, we're gonna
I
stick
think it
around."
was a good move, especially
Yeah,
based on what they did for him.
absolutely.
Getting him that shot.
hmm Absolutely. So, everybody has to. This is a business, man. At the end of the day, and the business got to make sense. And if it's not making sense, if the money ain't right, if everything ain't right, there's no fight. That's basically it. So it is what it is, man. That fight, if it materializes, great. You know what I'm saying? It's like the Subriel fight. They say, oh, he ducked Subriel. He never ducked Subriel. If anything, we sat in the gym and studied Subriel for months. Like we watched his and now Subriel is my boy and everything, but we were ready to fight him. You know what I'm saying? Like that, it is what it is, business. And we studied every move of his. He knows Subriel. If he fights him tomorrow, he knows every move Subriel makes. Because I'm telling you, and I'm sure he studied with his coach Lenny as well. He was in the gym with me. He had to be with him doing the same. And that kid is a student of the game. You know what I'm saying? Like Hitchins is a boxing genius. He's there with Shakur, who's also a boxing genius, right? Like there's not many of them, and I don't give that name out, that title out. But he's one of them ones because I've been in there and I've seen it, man. I've seen his genius. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody was talking about the Brian Norman thing, like and how he had smoked him in the ring in sparring, in Atlanta once. And yeah, that was true. I was there. I was there. And
So you
oh,
were there when he sparred Brian Norman, and
yeah.
so what is your definition of smoked him?
Uh hit and not get hit, you
Okay.
know, like just almost play with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it happened. Bud was there. Everybody, they all saw it. Everybody saw it. If anything, Africa got the most rounds that day because he sparred with Bud first. He sparred with Crawford. He sparred with Brian Norman. He sparred with Tiger Johnson. All mad rounds, bro. That day, was crazy.
That was a long time. When was that though? It was a
That
while.
was the day. That was the morning of Shakur versus Jamel Herring. That's why we was all in Atlanta. And I
Mm.
had my young kid, Harley Maderos. He was the first fight that night on that card. That was a top rank card. And so I was in Atlanta for that, but Africa came out to watch Shakur and Harley. So that morning he called me and he was like, yo, Bud just called me. He wants us all in the gym. He wants to get some work in. So I was like, fuck it, let's go. I'm not doing nothing. Harley's relaxing in the crib, in the hotel. Like, we good. Let's go. So we all went. And we witnessed all that shit, man. Like none of that. Somebody has a video. There's one guy. One guy was recording it. It was supposedly was like the owner of the gym. I'm not sure who he was exactly, but he was the one recording, and they allowed him to record. So
That
that
was in
video, that
Atlanta. You
footage
said
is
that was in Atlanta.
that was in where Norman trains at.
That
What's
was
that
in
gym?
was it Granite City?
Granite City. Yeah,
It was
it
in
was there.
Granite City. So I've
Yeah,
been there a bunch of times because I've been at Norman training camp. He good people,
yeah,
man. He like
yeah,
family.
yeah,
So I've
yeah,
been there
yeah.
a few times. That
So
was
then,
Granite City.
yep, that was Granite City. Yeah,
Wow. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
that was that morning. And Norman did good with Bud that day. So like,
Oh,
it
that
is
was
what
the
it
day he
is.
sparred Bud. Did Hitch spar Bud too?
He sparred with Bud first, and
Okay.
then and then Norman got in after Africa.
Damn, why can I not be in there? Well, I don't want to record it. I just want to fucking witness it as a
Yeah,
fan. Fuck.
that was some legendary shit. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Oh, I
That shit
could
was dope.
imagine, but look at the names you talking about, man.
We
Wow.
didn't know. Nobody really knew who Brian Norman was.
Right, right.
You
Okay, yeah.
know, and then somebody said, "Oh, he's like 19-0 with 19 knockouts." I said, "Who?" They said that kid. I said, "Word? Damn." Then he got in there with Bud. I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah." But that's how I know Africa's a dog, because after him sparring with Bud and doing good with him, Africa said, "Yo, E man, make sure he got rounds for me, man. I want that smoke. I want that smoke."
You got see,
And
that's what I'm
yo,
talking
I
about.
looked
New
at
York,
him. I
that
said, "You
New York
sure?"
attitude. That New York attitude is different.
Yeah, but he knew, he saw something, and that's because his IQ is big time. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
But
No,
I done
man.
seen Africa in there with everybody, man. From bigger guys, Charles Conwell, like 154s and 160s, all the way down. Like he's giving a lot of people good work, man. You know,
Man, that's what's up, man.
and that's
Shit.
why I believed in him. You know, I
Mhm.
was there, I witnessed it, I saw it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Brian Norman Jr., that's my guy, man. I know he gonna come back, man. Shit
Yes,
happens. This is boxing. This is boxing.
of course, of
Shit
course,
happens.
of course.
He gonna come back. I'm here with Coach ER Eric Roman in the building. Make sure you guys continue to smash that like button and continue to show him love. There's mad people showing you love up in the chat, but there's a lot of
That's what's
people over
up.
here. There's a lot of people over here, so I can't read on any of these. But yeah, no, that's dope, man. Listen, so when can we realistically more or less expect an announcement for a future fight for Hitchins' next fight? Is it
It's
soon?
yeah, we got the opponent. He got it today.
Okay, so
So it should be within this week, this coming week,
damn,
I would
ah,
say.
shit. Fuck, wish you could announce it, but I know you can't. It's all good.
Yeah, yeah. It's an exciting fight though. It's
You
good.
think
You
so?
know,
We're gonna enjoy it. We're gonna
it's not
enjoy it.
one that everybody was like clamming over, you know what I'm saying? But it's a good fight. Like I told him, I said, yo, I like that fight. It's good. You
What
know?
what what date range are we talking about month
It's
wise?
gonna be in February. It's gonna be in
February.
February. I
Okay.
believe a little later in February, but yeah, everything people get to see him soon, and then hopefully, around maybe summertime, we'll get the big fight. You know what I mean?
Mm,
He'll be able to show and prove.
that's what's
Like I
up.
know he can.
That's what's up. What do you think? What do you think is next for Edgar, man?
Um, I would like to see him fight Resendez, for the WBA title. I think that's on the table, you know. But like I said, money gotta make sense. You know what I mean? Like he has to be comfortable with what they offering, Like they offered him a fight against a older gentleman that I'm not gonna say who, but if I maybe you could read between the lines. But the money just wasn't there. You know what I'm saying?
I've been at Edgar's camp. I'm actually cool with Mark Foray as well.
Mark's my boy. That's my boy.
Mark
Yeah.
Foray is that's my guy, man. I'm actually going to Pro Box next week to the gym, spend some time. I don't know if Edgar's gonna be there. He might be there. I'm not sure, but I've interviewed Edgar a couple. I mean, great dude.
Yeah.
That's another
Yeah.
thing. A lot of people don't know Edgar
Nah, they
behind.
don't.
Nah,
Yeah.
nah.
Yeah.
Edgar,
He's misunderstood. He's misunderstood. I
phenomenal,
mean, look, let's be
phenomenal young
real.
man.
Let's be real, right? Like he's misunderstood because he did it to himself, right? Like that's just him. He went out there and he put himself out there to be, at times the villain, and when you play that role, you get haters, right? But let's all be honest. It is what it is. It's a role. He's playing a role. He's
This
he's
is a business. This is
he's
boxing. You're
he's
right.
entertaining. He's entertaining, and that's why he's been able to make more money than some of these world champions have made out here. You know what I'm saying? It's because boxing at this level is about marketing. It's about, can you put asses in seats? Can you sell them tickets? And are you gonna sell them pay-per-views? And if you can't, man, this is a message to all the young fighters out there. If you cannot do that, if you can't market yourself, man, you might as well just hang them up, man. You know what I'm saying? Come
You
sit on
gotta
the
be.
couch. Come sit
Yeah.
on the couch over here with Johnny, and have a beer, because that's it, man. Like this is what this shit is about, man. And you either gonna be the good guy or you're gonna be the bad guy. You know what I'm saying? And Edgar didn't want to be the bad guy. I could tell you that. That's not how he started out. He wanted to, you know, bring the Puerto Rican. He wanted that love from them and all that. And maybe he made a couple mistakes early on where he was young, and that was it. The tide turned on him, and so he said, "All right." I remember he came to the gym. I want to say probably around 2022, and he
After
was down in the
COVID,
dumps.
that
He
was
was
post
down
COVID. That was after COVID. Yeah.
after COVID, yeah. And it was during like I don't remember. It might have been after when he got suspended when he fought Homeboy when he bit him,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And he came to the gym and he was huge. And I was like, what the hell,
Because he
bro?
got listen, he got a lot of hate on social media,
Yeah, so
and
during
and
that
it dev
time,
and I think it devastated him, coach,
so
right?
that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
He just said, yo, I don't know why they turned on me like that,
Yeah.
man. Like that's not what I wanted. That's not what I meant to happen. That's not. And I said, look, man, you can't focus on that shit, bro. Like what are you doing right now? You home just eating and fucking blowing up and come on, bro. You're not in the gym. Like, let's go. So that day I remember I said, come on, man, like stop talking about this shit. Let's get busy. Like get in your shit, let's go. So we trained, I gave him some pads that day. He felt good. And I said, yo, that's it. I don't want to hear no more about none of this shit, man. Like, you still good, bro. He was still stuck in the contract with Top Rank. I said, don't worry about it. Everything is going to play out, bro. You're going to get out that contract. Everything's going to play out. And, bro, lo and behold, a couple months went by. Eddie Hearn signed him. The rest is history. He made $12 million when he fought Canelo. Come
Mhm.
on, man. Talk to me, man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
He winning. No, he winning. He winning. No, I get it. I
you
get
know what
it.
I'm saying? And
Um,
so they can say whatever they want about my boy, man. But
he
you
my
know,
boy
he
too,
he
man. I get a lot
he
of slack here on the channel, but he my
yeah,
guy.
let them. But the thing is, he's taking care of his family. You know what I'm saying? Like they really was in the trenches. You know what I'm saying? Like his mom lived in the projects, man. His pops was, in Bushwick for years, bro. And he got them up out of there, man. You know what I'm saying? And how many people could say they did that for their parents?
Word.
Not many, bro. He did it. And I think a lot of people in this chat and a lot of people out there in that world will do the same shit for their parents. I'll be the villain too if I was getting what he got to fight them fights. You know what I mean?
Yep. No, I get it, man. I get it. Listen, man, I want him to succeed. Like I said, I know him, I've spoken to him. He's a good dude, man. He's not a bad
Mm-hmm.
guy at all. But
Yeah.
this is boxing at the end of the day, it's boxing. It did shock me. Were you there? Were you there that night when he lost?
Yeah.
You were there in the
Mhm.
building? Yeah, that was
Yeah.
that was
No, he did his camp, the rest of his camp, in my gym,
mhm.
and the weight cut was good. Like we were in my gym the night before the weigh-in. Everything was lovely. We had gospel music playing. Like it was all love, man. It was if we felt great. You know what I'm saying? We felt great going into it. You know what I'm saying? Like Mark was pumped. The game plan was there. I don't know what happened, man. He started the fight decent with the jab.
He did start the fight good with the jab, man. He was winning, in
Hmm.
my opinion, the first 2
Yeah,
rounds.
he was.
Man.
He
People can
was.
say
He
what else they
was.
want.
Yeah,
I
he
thought he was
was.
winning the first 2 rounds.
I knew because I know him, and I know his speed is underestimated. But I've been in the ring with him. I've sparred with him. I know his hand speed. He has hand speed. He just really hasn't displayed it. You know what I'm saying? He had so many early knockouts in his career
Do you
that
think, Coach? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
go
cut
ahead.
you off, but there's a I don't want to lose this question. Do you think? Because this is a question I've always asked myself. Do you think the knockout streak hurt him
Of
more than it
course.
helped him?
I
Well, I mean,
mean,
listen, it probably helped him
it's
from a popularity standpoint, but as
yeah,
a
so
fighter,
that's what I was
go
gonna say. So it's the
break
way you
that down.
look at it, right? It's about your perspective, right? What do you want out of boxing, right? If you're a young fighter, like I said earlier, this is prize fighting. So we all want the money. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So in terms of that, it helped them immensely. Like 16 first round knockouts. Like
We're
you can't do
talking
no.
about him
That's
next to Mike
everybody.
Tyson, New York.
And he did it. He did it on ESPN
Right,
where
right.
everybody's mama's mama got ESPN and watched that shit. You know what I'm saying? It blew him
Mhm.
up. It blew him up. He had 3,000 followers overnight. He had like 130,000, and
Wow.
then it went up. Now he has whatever he has, but
Mhm.
it's like yeah, that popular for popularity, it was great. But for boxing, now we talking boxing. Now we talking about, the craft. Shit hurt him bad, man. Like, think about it. Let's talk now. Let's talk boxing, right?
Put on your apron, baby. Let's
Here we
cook.
go. You got a kid that turned pro at the end of 2016. Okay,
Mhm.
for 5 years he was 16-0 with 16 knockouts, right? All in the first round. So how
16
many?
rounds.
So
16
how
per round. Or
less? Because
less, right.
some
And
of
then
them, some of them fights was 10 seconds. He walked
right,
in, boom, blazed them.
right.
So
Yeah.
you figure, let's say he did 12 rounds in 5 years, bro. How terrible is that?
No bueno. I said it a
And then
long
and
time.
then and then you start to you believe the hype now. Oh, I can knock everybody out because it's only natural, you know.
So there's a lot of talk that he was more of a boxer in the amateurs, but then that
Look
whole
him up. Look up his amateur fights when he was with me. Pure boxer. But I'm a boxing enthusiast. You know, I build IQs. Like I don't if you got a power, great. That's cool. That's a bonus. But that's not what I train for. You know what I'm saying? Like we train to outbox people. That's what this is about. Hit and
right,
not get hit.
right.
And if you look at EB's fights in the amateurs, he was a pure boxer. Pure. He wasn't knocking people out. You know. I remember we had a nice stoppage in the Olympic trials. This kid from DC where he stopped him in the third round. And we were like, whoa, yo, like we were shocked, you know. We were like, oh, you got a little power,
He got
you
a little
know.
pop there. He showed a little pop.
And yo, it's like, yo, when he turned pro, it's like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? Like, where's this coming from? You know? He went away from the jab, from the speed, from the combinations.
He
Which
has
is
a
what he did
really,
great.
really good jab, bro. A
That's
really good
all.
jab. A
Look,
power jab.
hey, look, listen to all the fighters I've worked with. Just run them down. What do they all got in common?
Jab.
A great jab. A great jab.
Because
Because
Hitchins' jab is
yeah,
that
he's
against
is
Cambodia.
to
That
to
shit is
me
crazy.
to me I'm gonna tell you a funny stat, and you could go ahead and challenge me. To me, the two best jabs in boxing right now is Richardson Hitchins and Khalil Cole.
Not
Oh
Devin
look,
Haney. You wouldn't put Devin Haney up there?
he's up there, but I'm not saying he's the best. I think Khalil Cole got maybe the best jab in boxing. He
Why
just
what makes those two the best jabbers from a coaching
timing,
perspective?
timing, it's timing. You know what I'm saying? It's they know what their range is. They know where their feet are at all times. You know, Devin too. Devin is part of that. He has a Devin and Africa probably. That's why I knew that Devin was gonna beat Norman because they're so similar. Him and Africa are so similar. You know, and they've had two sparring sessions that are legendary.
You know, my chat is cooking now. They said, what about Charlo?
Man,
Mason.
listen,
Somebody
man,
put Mason, Charlo. That's Alfonso Searle. Was
all good,
good.
but I'm not putting them above them.
Okay.
Yo, look at Khalil Cole's last fight. Look
My
at
chat
Khalil
be
Cole.
cooking. My chat be cooking.
Yo,
They
yo, chat. Go to Khalil Cole's last fight against Manuel Gallegos, the rematch he had. He stopped him on his jab alone.
no, I
He,
seen I seen his jab. Absolutely. No, I
it's
seen his jab.
it's it's a it's a bazooka. His jab, you know. So now there's a lot of great fighters with great jabs. I'm just saying, yo, you know, two of the ones I worked with, and Edgar's jab is great too.
It's
Great.
good,
That's
man.
it.
He
To
just
me,
gotta throw it
it's his
more.
best punch. He
I I, I
just has to
agree,
believe
bro.
in it more.
I
You
was
know.
screaming at the TV that fight. Shoot the jab. Shoot more, more,
Yeah,
more. Like,
yeah, more. He was
yeah.
peppering that motherfucker. And Shiraz said it afterward when they asked him, yo, like, was it? He said, I was surprised by his speed and his jab. Like, I couldn't see it. And I said, damn, man. Man, it is what it is.
I didn't like Edgar's my dude, but I didn't like the week of and throwing shit out to Oscar. And I'm
Mm.
like, bro, you're not fighting Oscar, my dog. Like, I wish I was there, but
But again, Johnny, man,
I know what you're gonna
it's
tell me. Go
it
ahead, coach.
sells. It's
Fool me.
entertainment, man.
I
You know what
know,
I'm
I
saying?
know,
He's
I
selling
know,
the fight. You know,
I know.
yo, somebody told me that before that press conference, they were having trouble selling tickets. After the press conference, they sold out.
See, this is what I'm saying. You know, I wasn't
I
there.
mean,
I get it, but
like,
for me, you know, I'm old school. Like I'm old school. I'm like,
I
what
hear you. Yo, I
are
mean,
you doing, man? Fuck off, man. You ain't fighting.
after that press conference, guess who called me right away and was
Who?
pissed?
Who?
My mama.
Did she said that, was she saying the same thing I said?
She was mad at him. She was like, "Why would you
Yeah.
do that?" But she loves
Why?
Oscar. She loves Oscar, right? So why would he
Oh,
do
okay.
that? I said, "Ma, where you coming from with this? Because Oscar's your guy, or because you're really mad at him? You know?" She was just like, "No, no, I didn't like that. You know, like that was not cool." And I said, "Ma, I had to break it down to her, you know, like
This is
that's
business. I get it. I get it. But me, I'm like, Edgar, bro. Like, concentrate on this. This dude came from overseas, UK, and he looked like, you know, he's serious. Like, stop with the Oscar shit. You ain't fighting Oscar. Get focused on this guy. So
yeah,
that bothered me a little bit. And again, I don't
I
know
hear
if that
you.
had anything to do with it. That's just me, the fight fan, you know, like I
Mhm.
said. But man, it was
I hear you, bro.
rough. It was rough for me, man, because you know, Edgar's my guy, and then I gotta come
Mhm.
on these shows, and these dudes are trolling. You know the deal, you know the deal. But
Yo,
listen,
nobody
let's talk
nobody knows
let's
more
talk
about the trolling shit than me. Yo, these trolls have turned me into a troll. And for anybody that follows me on Instagram, if they see me
Where can
going
they
back,
follow you? Tell them where they can follow you now, coach.
oh, coach underscore ER underscore on Instagram. I think my Twitter is eRoman Senior,
Mhm.
if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, that's it, man. Like I don't have a bunch of pages and all that. You know, you can follow my gym page, Hellgate Boxing.
The gym
You
page.
know,
We're
it's
gonna put
at
that all
Hellgate
up here.
Boxing.
But once you're done, we'll put that all up here. Make sure we get
Cool.
everybody again. We DHS family. Yeah, I got to support Coach ER. Damn, I don't want you to leave yet. I still got a couple of questions for you. You you,
Go
you still
ahead.
got
I'm
time, or
good.
you good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Because we
Um,
didn't even get into. I want to get some of your predictions for some of these fights real quick. It
let's
doesn't have
go.
to be anything for like 2 hours or whatever. But
Good. Let's go.
we got into the nitty gritty, man. Again, great interview so far. Saturday, man, what you expect, man? Subriel and Dalton Smith, man. What's up?
It's
Break
a
that
it's an
down for me
it's
real
an
quick.
interesting fight because I had a question today. I was talking to Johnny Boy and my guys in the gym. Dalton Smith, he's with Eddie Hearn,
Mm-hmm.
right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they doing this
Eddie
fight
Hearn was
over
talking
here.
spicy today in the press conference, talking
Was
about
he?
there's going to be more people from the UK, and
I believe it.
which is crazy. Coach, I can't understand that. We
Yo,
fighting. Going
right
on?
now we just talking about it in the gym, saying like, yo, this has been probably the worst promoted fight I've
Oh,
ever seen, and especially the fact that it's in Brooklyn at the Barclays Center in New York City. Like, how are you not promoting this fight? Nobody knows about it. Nobody, man. You know what I'm saying? And
Coach, man,
Eddie Hearn really isn't the
screen up. There's
promoter,
mad
right?
tickets still available. We put the screen up yesterday. That's
Crazy, bro.
terrible. Brooklyn, New York, a
Come
Puerto
on,
Rican fighting.
it's crazy, bro. It's
But
crazy.
anyway, Eddie Hearn was talking spicy, talking about Dalton's gonna smash him, all this other stuff, because obviously
So
there's some
so
hostility
that
with him.
so so
Go
this
ahead. Sorry.
this is where I'm at. This is where I'm at with this, right?
Mhm.
Eddie has Hitchins, right?
Mhm.
So Saturday night, if there's anything funny on these scorecards, look for the upset
Really?
because
Why do you
because
say that?
I love Subriel. Subriel is my guy. He's a great human being. He's probably one of the most genuine human. He doesn't, yo, the person he is outside the ring is not the person he is inside the ring because he's vicious inside the ring. But
Mhm.
outside, yo, he is a sweetheart, man. Like, bro, I got mad love for that dude. His team, his coach is my guy. His coach helps my son when my son fights out in Puerto Rico and stuff. So I got a lot of love for them. But I'm a little bit weary about this because a fight between Dalton Smith with the WBC belt and Richardson Hitchins with the IBF belt, a unification, later this year, could be a really big money fight. And Eddie will have both of them, and he will control now a portion of the junior welterweight division, right?
Wow. I didn't even think
So,
about that.
so that perspective jumped into my head today, where I was like, like, do I think Dalton Smith could fuck with Subriel? Not really. Like, I think Subriel's got too much dog in him. You see what he did with Puello. Like, it was a close fight, but that dude has like, he just doesn't care, bro. Like, he has a motor on him
His
that doesn't
motor is
stop.
out of control.
Doesn't
Yeah.
stop. It doesn't, and like I've never seen nothing like that, man. Like where he just doesn't like exert. It's like you would think he's gassed. He's not tired. His energy level is retarded, man. And it's just, I love it. I think he's different. Like you don't really see a fighter like that, and he could take a punch. So it's like shit. He could give it, he could take it, and he keeps coming forward, forward, forward. How do you stop that guy? You know what I'm saying? But then I go, well, Liam Farrell stopped him, so you can. You know what I'm saying? Like it's possible. Can Dalton Smith do that? Can Dalton Smith make it close enough to where if it goes to the scorecards, they lean towards Eddie Hearn's guy? Because Subriel really is unsigned. That's another thing.
Good
You got to
point.
look at that. You know what I'm saying?
Point.
The only thing that I would say, like for example, a lot of people say, "Oh, Puello got robbed in that fight with Subriel," right? I thought it was a close fight. I thought Subriel pulled it off.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Before you even get to your point, I try to educate my people out here. A close fight is not a robbery.
No, it's not a robbery, right?
Yeah,
But
sorry,
saying that it is a close fight, right? You have to say like, okay, so if that was a close fight, why did Subriel get it? Well, that's simple, man. If you know boxing, Puerto Ricans love boxing more than Dominicans do. So you know that when you give the fight to the Puerto Rican side, there's gonna be more money on the table for the next fight and the next fight and the next fight. Dominicans ain't coming out waiting in the parking lots and all that to come try to watch a fight, man. You know, to buy tickets. They're not trying to get and wait online and they don't care. You know, let's be real. You know what I'm saying? Dominicans like baseball. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, bro.
That is
Do
true.
they do they have some good fighters as of late? Yes, they are starting to
They
come out
coming
there
on. Yeah. No, the last
and
few years they coming on.
yeah.
I ain't
So
gonna
I'll give
lie.
them that.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
history within history, you can't just create you know, maybe the last, 8 to 10 years of good boxers and say now we got a big fan base in box. It don't work that way. You know what I'm saying? Like Puerto Ricans ain't gonna go to watch no soccer. We don't like it, bro. You know what I'm saying? So if there was a soccer match and we were doing all right, they probably would want Mexico to beat us. You know what I'm saying? Because there's more money involved. The Colombia, And at the end of the day, this is a business. It's about money.
Mhm.
So in a close fight, would they do that again? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Don Smith probably got a lot of fans over here right now. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get to go to the press conference when
Certainly
Doug Elder
sound like
win.
a coach. I got a clip that I'm gonna play later on, and it's crazy how
They
when
travel.
Eddie was talking. Yeah, there was a lot of dudes, people. I don't know
They
about dudes. It was like
travel,
people
bro.
from the
Like
UK, and
I
it's like,
think I
where's the
think
Puerto
UK
Rican
fans,
fans?
UK fans are no joke, bro. They travel, bro.
They
And
are no joke. They support their
and
fighters through
and
thick and
that's what
thin,
I
and they
said.
don't
Like
throw their fighters away. That's something that
right,
we do over here in the States. I say this all the time. Fighter loses, whatever. Oh, he's great, great, great. You put him in there against another great fighter. Oh, he was never. He's done. We
right.
don't. They
Yeah.
don't do that over there.
No, hell no.
They're
You know
correct.
what? You know what I love about them is that say like for example they have a fighter and they love him and they die hard for him and he loses, right? You know what they do? They big up their fighter, but then they become fans of the guy that beat their fighter. And they go, yo, we're gonna follow this guy, man. He's great, man. He beat our guy. Yo, man. And now they boom, you just won over a bunch of UK fans. You know what I'm saying? That's why I
Right.
told Africa, I said, yo, if you go over there to fight one of them guys, I said you should take that opportunity and do it. Because beating one of them over there, bro, they love you for life.
That's dope.
They
That's good
respect you
advice.
for
Yeah.
life. You
No,
know?
that's good advice.
You
No.
remember Winky Wright?
Yep.
Winky Wright had a slowdown in his career where nobody wanted to put him on in the US because he was quote unquote boring. So they offered him a fight in the UK and he took it. And he smoked the guy. They loved him. They brought him back again. They brought him back again. And next thing you know, he was a superstar in the UK. You know what I'm saying? It happens. And then it kicked his career back up. He came back to the States. The rest is he's a Hall of Famer, you know?
Yep. Hall of Famer, and definitely more appreciated today when he's gone. And we do this all the time in boxing. We were talking about this yesterday. How many
Of course.
fighters that we don't appreciate when they're fighting, but then when they're retired,
You
oh,
go,
we
damn,
appreciate them. We
that
were
man was
shitting on them back
cold,
then.
bro.
I never forget when I was young that everybody was shitting on Pernell Whitaker. And I was a big Pernell Whitaker fan.
Oh, me too. Yeah, me too.
Nah, he's boring. He runs, blah, blah, blah. But now today, oh my God,
Everybody.
I haven't heard anybody say anything negative
Oh,
about
hell
him.
no.
The best,
No, you won't hear that.
the best defensive
Yeah.
fighter, one of the best. in my opinion, and I grew up in that era. And this is just my opinion. I think he's the best defensive fighter I ever seen. That's just me. I could be wrong.
I would say
That's just
I'm
me.
gonna do you one better. Okay.
Talk to me.
I want to say this was like 98, maybe 1998. He did a camp in my gym in Miami.
Sweepy?
Yeah. I think it was when he fought the Obelis Hurtado, the Cuban, where he knocked him out. I got to watch that guy with my own eyes. Like, they closed the gym, but they let me in
You
because
lucky.
I was
You lucky.
word. I've had some luck in
You
this shit, man.
blessed. You blessed, Coach. Coach ER's
So-
in the building. We got hella people in here. Smash that like button and show love to the coach. Go ahead.
So, he wasn't only the best defensive fighter. To me, he's the greatest fighter I've ever seen with my own eyes.
So that's crazy. So if I
Hey.
ask you the best fighter you ever seen, you gonna go Sweepy?
Yeah, with my own eyes. So, meaning like,
Tell me
I know
why.
there's a pound for pound list out there of in history. I know Sugar Ray Robinson and Joe Louis and Henry Armstrong. All those guys are up there. But like, I wasn't in that era. I never got to see those guys.
Coach, you
But I
cut
got
my
to
mouth
see them.
off. I say the same thing. I can't
got to
say those
see
guys.
them.
I didn't see them. Good.
Yeah, but I got to see Sweet Pea, man. And what I seen was pure greatness, pure genius. You know, like, I sat there and I watched him, and he said, I was a kid, you know, I was a teenager. He said, well, he was shadowboxing. He said, what are you looking at? But man, serious, you know? And I got nervous, man. And I was like, oh, nah, I'm just watching, you know? And he was like, yeah, but what you watching? And I was like, I'm watching you. And he said, but what? And I was like, oh, you? Like, I don't know what he was getting at, you know? And he said, you're not watching the right thing though, man. He said, watch my feet.
Mhm.
So I said, I looked down, I just watched his feet. I don't know why he told me that. And as I became a coach, I realized that your feet is everything. It's your first line of defense. And he dropped a gem on me that day, you know? And now I can go and teach my fighters that, you know? And bro, we was in the gym. It was me, my coach, Lou Duva, Ronnie Shields. Like, there was pure greatness in the gym that day. And I got to watch and see for not that day, that week. And I got to see him, bro, every day, and phenomenal, man. Just rest in peace, Sweet Pea, man. Probably, I think he's in the top 5 pound for pound in history. You know, people.
One of my all-time favorites. If people ask me my favorites.
But what's crazy is I'm telling you that, but he's not my favorite fighter of all time.
Who's your favorite fighter of all time then?
I got a couple, but I would say James Toney.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I've studied all these guys.
More of the defense.
It was more the counterpunching.
The counterpunching.
I'm a counterpuncher.
Off the defense.
Yeah. As a fighter, I was a counterpuncher. And then, you know, I teach counterpunching. I'm a kind of coach where I don't have a quote unquote style of teaching, because I teach to my fighters' attributes. So if a fighter's, you know, fast, you know, we work with that. If he's got power, we work with that. If he just got good timing, we work with that. But I've been blessed to have guys that have everything, you know, which is great. Cause then I go, nah, we're gonna be counterpunchers, you know. Cause when you got the reflexes and the timing to do it, to me, that's the best style. You know, the greatest fighters ever were counterpunchers.
Love it, man. I love it, bro. You dropping gems tonight, bro.
I'm trying, man.
I'm trying gems tonight. I'm like, man, there's just so many different little clips that I want to take from this, man. It's absolutely amazing, because I'm gonna get people like, oh, I didn't watch the interview. If you just tuning in, you gotta watch the playback after the show is over. All of our live shows go right on the Hangout Spot YouTube channel. While you are there, subscribe to the channel. We've been cooking. The last few, I mean, we cooking. We got hella people up in here. So just to land the plane, I know we went in another direction. Now, I could do this shit all night.
Yeah,
that's why I gotta bring us back here. Because I love old school boxing talk.
Mm-hmm.
I know when me and Coach hook up live, like, forget about it. We're gonna be chilling. We're gonna be talking for like forever. But so I know what you said about Subriel and but if there's no shady stuff, you fully expect Subriel to be able to mold through this guy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Got you. Got you. Got you. What about the end of the month? Because we've been talking about these fights at the end of the month. Great card. I'm gonna be there, so we're gonna hook up. I do
Mhm.
want to get your take on the co-main before we talk about the main event because I'm
Okay.
interested in that. Right.
Yeah.
I'm interested in Keyshawn Davis against Jermaine Ortiz. What's your thoughts on that fight?
Um, I think Keyshawn is gonna be a little bit too much for him.
Mm.
Uh, I think Jermaine is all right. I didn't like the way he looked with Teofimo. I didn't like what that little stunt he pulled. That's what I call it. I didn't like it at all. Um,
Explain,
I,
but for my
I,
for
I
my,
don't I
my
don't think
fact, you
that's
gotta talk about the
I don't
stunt.
think that's
You gotta break down the stunt.
to me that's not boxing. Like to me, like I hate the term running, man. I hate that term. But if there's anything in running and boxing, that was it, right? Like I don't like that term because yeah, he fought in spurts. He did, and you definitely do have to know how to cut the ring off, and we'll get to that later, right? But I just thought, like, you really want to be champion and you fought like that, man? Come on, bro. Like, whose game plan was that? That was not smart. You know what I'm saying? Like, and no disrespect to him, I think he's a good young fighter. Like, I think that he's just in a time frame where there's a lot of like greatness. You know what I'm saying? So he's one of them guys that, damn man, like he maybe in another era he would have been undisputed champ. You know what I'm saying? But in this era, there's a lot of like great young fighters, and he's just in the mix with them. Can he pull it off with Keyshawn? Yeah, absolutely. I think he could pull it off. It's about the game plan. It's about how you're gonna press the issue with that young kid who, Keyshawn, he got a little bit of everything. You know what I'm saying? But what I like about Keyshawn is the chip on his shoulder. He's mean. I love fighters like that. I just said James
Mhm.
Toney, my favorite fighter. Marvin Hagler is another one of my favorite fighters.
Same
Mean.
here. I
They
love
both
Marvin Hagler.
they both was mean. Like I love mean fighters, man. Because, you see these young kids now and they go in there, they trying to be friends with everybody. I'm like, man, forget all. That's why I love Abdullah. Abdullah's my boy. And he's mean, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like he don't want no friends. His they not trying to, I don't know, this guy's not my brother. He's not nothing. I want to fight all of them. And that's what I like, you know? And Keyshawn got a little bit of that where he's mean. Where in the ring he's mean. Like he gonna take your head off if he can. So, what is Jermaine gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Like he got the speed. Jermaine got the speed. He got pop. He got good feet. Like he got a little bit of everything. So what is he gonna do? Is he gonna? Does he have a game plan, or is he just gonna go in there and hit and run? And I don't know. I don't know. Keyshawn's the A side. I know that much. So you can't fight like you did with Teofimo.
Got
You
you.
know. You
He
know.
did
Yeah,
tell
but
me he did tell me during an interview that I did with him live that he's tired of this shit where he feels like he's done enough, but he doesn't get the decision on the scorecard, which means I'm not playing with these dudes when I fight these.
well, that's good.
So, yeah, he
Now,
did
now
tell me that. That is in an interview that he did. Like I'm tired of
that's
this. I'm
good.
tired of this
Now,
shit
now
going through the
let's
scorecard. So let's see what happens.
let's hope it transpires into him taking it to Keyshawn, and then now a fight breaks out. You know what I'm saying? And then we'll see who's the man. I think it's a great matchup. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I like it. It's a good consolation prize. You know the fight that I
Correct.
wanted before
Yeah.
that.
But before we get into the main event, let's get into the one before the co-main. Let's talk about my little brother Bruce Shushu Carrington,
Let's do it.
who's about to put Brooklyn on the map one more time and become a world champion.
Jushu's
And
my
he'll be
guy, man.
he'll
That's
be the
my.
second.
I got to get him on here. That's my guy. I got to get him on
Yeah,
here.
he'll be champion number 2 for New York from Brooklyn. Brownsville to be exact. Brownsville produces champions. Never ran, never will. And I just want to shout out Shushu because even before he wins it, I want to congratulate him because he's going to be champ of the world.
So you think it's a foregone conclusion, bro? He gonna cook Carlos Castro?
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Shushu's my dude. I'm a fan of Shushu's. Absolutely, man.
No doubt. No
Yeah.
doubt. Shout out Shushu.
Okay. All right. So well, there's not much to talk about if you saying he gonna cook Carlos Castro.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to do. Just
That's
now
all.
we
Okay.
could get into the main event now, but
So the main event, you got Shakur Stevenson moving up a weight class. lightweight champion, moving up to 140, trying to become a champion in his fourth division against
Mm,
Teofimo Lopez, the takeover.
mm,
We've seen Teofimo's resume. He's got 2 straps at 140. Yes,
mhm,
he's inconsistent. Yes, sometimes he's a nutball.
mhm.
We get it. But in the ring, when the guy is focused, you cannot deny what he brings
Can't
to the
knock them.
table. Listen, and I judge fighters by what they do in the ring because I don't go home to them,
Right.
you know. So this is a very when I found out about when we started talking about this fight being a rumor, I was like, damn, I just hope it happens. I hope it happens. Because sometimes they dangle the carrot and then they kick us in the nuts, right?
Thanks.
So I try not to talk about it, but we were still talking about it because we were trying to speak it into fruition. Then when it
Yeah.
happened, I'm like, yo, I'm excited about it. Some
Hell yeah.
people shit on it. Stylistically, I think it's going to be boring. I
They
don't
don't
believe it.
know. Nah,
Tell
that
me,
that
break down
this
that
is
fight, Coach ER.
yeah, this is a boxing purist like dream fight. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying? Because
yes.
for us that love like the craft and love like everything that comes with it, defense, footwork, like everything, the IQs, like my goodness, what a matchup this is, man. Like you couldn't do no better than this one. And thank God, like they were both, you know, in the same era, where now we get to see some greatness. Unfortunately, I wanted Hitchins to get that fight, but they gave it to Shakur. So hey, let's rock, man. It is what it is. Um, it's interesting because Shakur is Shakur is Shakur is Shakur. He's gonna be him. He's gonna do what he does.
Mhm.
But we're gonna witness him, I believe, at the highest level he's ever been on. He knows that this is the most important fight of his life. We're gonna see the best Shakur Stevenson ever. Okay. So how do you beat that? The only person that could beat the best Shakur ever is Shakur, really, right? Unless you have the game plan to derail that. Like, can you stop what Shakur does? How do you stop that? What do? You can't mirror him.
No,
Cannot do that. You can't try to outbox him.
no.
Can't do that. So what you gonna do? Well, you gotta make it rough and tumble. You gotta, you know, push him around a little bit. You gotta get mean in there, right? Difficult because remember I told you about mean fighters.
Yep.
Shakur might be the meanest. People don't realize that because they haven't seen that side of him yet.
Really? Okay.
Shakur's a mean dude, bro. Mean.
Well, he showed us a different side of Shakur in that last fight against
He
Zepeda.
did.
And that's what you're
Yep.
saying.
He
You're gonna
did.
have to bring it to, but we saw that. So it's funny because if I didn't see that performance against Zepeda, then I would question it. Like,
Mhm.
what do you
Of
mean?
course.
Yeah,
Of
but
course.
I did see that, and I
Yeah.
was impressed with what I saw. And you were
Yeah.
there. You were ringside. But go ahead,
Yeah.
coach.
I feel like if there's somebody in this world that could beat Shakur Stevenson, it's probably Teofimo Lopez, right? But everything has to be clicking that night. Everything for him. And that's a tall order, man. That's a tall order because Shakur is like a puzzle that nearly impossible to figure out. I've talked to, when he was in the amateurs, I used to talk to kids that fought him after. I remember he fought this kid and we was in Philly, he fought this kid. And it was like the end of the day. We was like watching like the last fight, and the kid was standing next to me, and I looked over at him, and he was like lost in space. And I was like, "Yo, you all right, man?" And he was like, "Yeah, man, I don't understand it." I said, "What?" He said, "Kid, man, like I done fought that kid 4 times, man, and every time I think I got him, and I can't, you can't touch him." And he goes, "And the problem is he be right in front of you." He's like, "Yo, you go to step to him, he step back. Okay. I step back, he step forward. Like anywhere I go, he's right in my face. I cannot. And then I throw a punch, I miss, boom, he hits me. And it's like, how do you stop that?" So, well, nobody has really been able to stop it yet. And that probably was like 10, 11 years ago.
Damn.
Like, damn, still nobody has been able to do it. And Africa sparred with him like a few weeks ago. I said, how was that? I wasn't there. He said, that's a bad motherfucker. For Africa to
Africa
say
said this
that, bro,
shit.
for him to say
Africa
that,
said that shit. Wow.
that's
Okay.
because I've seen them spar, and it's pure like it's genius. It's like you watching two master like chess players, and he said, "Yo, I feel like he's on another level now, bro." And I said, "Word." He was like, "For real, bro. Like that's a bad dude." For him to tell me that, I was like, "Damn." So I know he's bringing his best. I just hope Teofimo brings his best because Teofimo's a bad dude himself.
Mm-hmm.
He's athletically he's more than Shakur. I think he's more athletic than him. I think
Right.
he might have faster hands with him. He definitely has more power than Shakur. Um, he has a good chin. I think Shakur got a good chin too. Uh, I just think that for Shakur, man, like if he's really on another level right now, like Africa said, and like how I've been seeing him grow throughout the years, he's gonna be hard to beat, man. Very hard to beat. But if there's anybody could do it, it's Teofimo, man. You know?
It's funny you say that because I thought about that a while ago, and I was like, "Damn, if there's anybody that I would say could be Shakur, because I'm a big Shakur guy, obviously."
Hmm.
And I was like, maybe Tio,
Right.
based on the style, the athleticism, the fact that
Yeah, correct.
I can't get the Lomachenko fight out of my mind.
The
Teofimo,
experience,
the
you know?
experience. I mean,
Mhm.
let's not diminish. Again, we had some people on not that long ago that was trying to diminish that victory. I'm like, come on, stop, bro. When Tio beat
Can't.
this dude and
No
outpointed
way.
him, he was the best fighter in the world, pound for pound.
Yep.
Stop this shit, bro.
Hmm.
One or two on most people's list.
Yep.
But Tio was bigger. Last I heard, he made the weight. He
Hmm.
made him physically bigger. But how many people have Lomachenko fought that he's bigger than?
Yeah.
And he cooks.
Yeah.
So
Talk,
again,
talk, talk to me about Guillermo Rigondeaux and that fight.
yeah, yeah,
Kid came up
exactly.
3 weight divisions and everybody was trashing him. Like, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like, so
He tried
yeah,
to get buck.
it's that fight, man. He did his thing, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
no, he did his thing. That's what I'm saying. So if that
and then
Teofimo shows up, I mean,
so I'm trying to
shit.
tell you.
Yeah.
But like I said, the game plan gotta be on point, man. Like whoever is running that game plan, I don't know if it's his pops or the other coaches that he has in his corner that work with him. But whoever it is, man, boy, oh boy, you better be on point because it could be a long night.
I think it's gonna be a great fight. I remember watching an interview that Tim Bradley did somewhere, or maybe he went live. It's like, people got to prepare themselves for what they're gonna see, because you're not gonna see this rock 'em
Right.
stock. This is gonna be.
Nah.
You have to have a high level
Yeah.
boxing eye for this fight, and if you do, you're gonna appreciate it
Of course.
because
Yeah.
this is gonna
You
be
know,
a
you
test.
know, you know what's I'm gonna tell you two fights of mine that are favorites, right? That a lot of people don't like. Okay. One is Pernell Whitaker versus Buddy McGirt.
Which one did they fight twice? They
They
fought
fought
twice.
twice. The
They
first
fought
one.
twice. You talking about the first one?
Yeah. And it wasn't because, I thought Sweet Pea won, hands down. But Buddy did a lot of things in there like that was like impressive, where I was like, damn man, these two guys,
That was a great fight.
yeah, phenomenal. And then
Mhm.
the other fight is that I've seen it 1,000 times is James Toney versus Mike McCallum. And they also fought 3 times, but the first and second one are bar none. Like, if you want to learn boxing, watch those two fights because that's what it's about, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, pure genius. Like, you talk about iron sharpening iron, that's it right there. That's it.
That's what's up, man. You're right. Great fights.
Yeah.
We got my
And I
man.
think we're gonna see it.
Let's hope. I think so. I don't see how it could disappoint, but there are some people that feel like it's not going to live up to the billing or whatnot based on styles. I don't think so, man. If you are a true
Yeah.
fan of boxing at high level, I think this is going to be it. Finding Adrian 13 with the $5. Appreciate you, my brother. He said, Coach, everyone thinks Kerr will frustrate Teo, but is there any world where Teo can frustrate Shakur? In my opinion, he is the more athletic and more explosive out of the both. Out of both.
Like I said, everything has to be clicking for Tio. Can he frustrate Shakur? That means that you can break, the that layer where like his mind is like so out of this world when it comes to boxing. Like I I can't see it. I can't see somebody frustrating, quote unquote, frustrating Shakur Stevenson, man. Like Core's mind is crazy, and he doesn't get flustered, and he doesn't. But you know, like I said, Teal's crazy, man. Like if if anybody could do it, it's him. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a fan of Teofimo Lopez, man. I really am. You know,
I like Tio too.
I
Yeah.
think he's great for the game. You know what I'm saying? I know he's outlandish and he be wilding, but yo, boxing needs these guys, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like
Say it all the time,
it's
Coach. We
it's
need
fun, man.
different
You know, like
characters, man. We need the
and
Adrian Broners in their prime when they was talking shit, and
yeah,
we
bro.
need those
Yeah.
guys, man.
But listen, I'm gonna make a comparison, right, for everybody because I've studied both fighters. I've tried to because I've got asked this question a lot: who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? And at first, I was saying it's 50-50. I don't know. I don't want to answer that question, but in the last coming weeks, I've watched both their fights a lot, and then I've watched other fights. I like to compare fights, and I go, yo, who are these guys like, right?
Mm.
And I said, damn, man, the closest I could come to making a comparison, which is difficult because they really aren't like that, but the closest I could come is Sugar Ray Leonard versus Roberto Duran one. Okay. Where you had a guy in Duran, a Latino, that had a loss on his record already, right? Who tasted defeat, who been there, done that, who won, undisputed championships, at lightweight. And, you know, at that point was like, I don't give a fuck about anything. He just came to win. And then you had the pretty boy and Sugar Ray Leonard, the Olympic darling, the everything that Shakur Stevenson is like, undefeated, pure boxer, right? Like he had everything, everything. And what happened that night? What your man said. He frustrated the hell out of Sugar Ray. He took him out of his game and he got the win, you know? Can that happen on January 31st? Can Teofimo pull off, I wouldn't call it an upset, but a shocker,
A
right?
shot. I
Because
think most
I'm
people
gonna
are gonna
say,
pick the core. Yeah.
yeah. Can he do it? Can he get in his head and fluster him? Because he is, like I said, he's good with that with everybody else. I just think that there's too much history out there that Shakur's a student of the game. Like he has studied all these guys, Sweet Pea, Sugar Ray, all these. He's watched Sugar Ray versus Durant. At some point, is he gonna get into that position where he's going like, damn, this motherfucker, man, he's getting to me. Is he gonna break? Or is he gonna think back and go, nah, 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 I seen this before. Nah, I'm too good for this. You know what I mean? And then just turn it up a notch. I think that's gonna happen.
Mm.
I got Shakur winning a close, unanimous decision.
Unanimous decision. That's what's up,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Damn, man. I can't wait, man. A few more weeks, man. A few more weeks. The only bad part about that night is that Xander fights that night in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I know, man. It's so
And I
crazy,
can't
bro.
be in two places. Because I originally, when I heard about Xander first, I was like, man, I think I want to go to Puerto Rico, see if I could try to cover this fight. And
Mm-hmm.
spend the weekend there, and all of a sudden the Shakur one, and I was like, damn, that's the bigger fight. So I'm gonna head out to New York. Plus, I get to see my mom because she still lives in Bushwick.
There you
Uh,
go.
she's still in
That's funny.
Bleecker.
Your mom lives out here. My mom lives over there. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's crazy, right?
Your boy Mark, yo, shout out Mark Ferrate. He just hit me up right now. I'll
What do you
get
say?
you in a minute, my brother. I don't know. He just texted me. I'll check it out later.
Tell him that you're on with me.
Maybe he's
Tell-
watching.
it might be telling him, yo, Johnny said what's up from the hangout.
We'll
He's
do.
gonna be like, that's my guy. That's my
We'll do.
yo.
We'll do.
Mark, tell him I'm gonna see him next week because I'm actually going to the gym. So definitely
Bet.
tell him that you were on with me if he did not know.
Bet.
That's another one that I got him on here one time, but he's not really an interview guy. He doesn't really
Mm.
like to do these
Yeah,
interviews.
yeah, yeah.
I got him on one time. I interviewed him
He's
one time here.
he's humble. He's a humble. He's
Oh,
quiet.
I love Mark Ferrer. He's dope. He's dope. I mean,
Yeah.
always showing me love. Tells me my doors are always open to you, Johnny, for my fight all the time. They all family. But real quick before I let you go, what do you think about
Mhm.
Xander, man, in this fight?
Yeah, he's gonna beat him. He's it's good because see Xander's in a position where like collecting these titles. see, most people you say like, "Oh, you don't need them titles," but for him, I think he needs them because it'll give him leverage going into other fights, right? Like where, say, he was to fight Boots or Virgil right now, he would be the B side. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But with the belts now he could say, "Yo, nah, it's 50-50. I got this many belts. Like you know what I mean?" So I think for him to collect the titles is smart. And hey, Mike check Boricua's on the set. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I think we need a guy to take us, to hold the flag. You know what I mean?
You think he could be
And
the next face of that Puerto Rican? Like maybe again, we haven't had that face
well,
of Puerto Rican boxing since
well,
Cotto.
I'll say this, right? I think the guy's already there. Um,
Really?
but I don't think he gets the just due because of his weight division. But we already have the flag bearer, and that's Oscar Collazo. He's done that. He's
Yeah.
already there, brother.
Coach,
You know?
we've said that, but nobody knows him because again, the weight division, bro.
And he will go down as one of the greatest Puerto Ricans of all time. Mark my words. Will he get the credit? He's a strawweight, man. It sucks. Ivan Calderon, he was up there, we showed him love, he did big things too, but did he get the credit he deserved? Not really, you know what I'm saying? I think Oscar Collazo, no disrespect to my boy, Iron Boy, but Collazo might be better than him. And he won a gold medal for us in the Pan Am Games. He did a lot in the amateurs for the island of Puerto Rico. And, I think that he's the man right now. Like, if anybody's holding that flag up, it's him. And then everybody else, hey, Xander's up there. You know what I'm saying? He's doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? And listen, if EB knocks Resendez out and now he's the WBA super middleweight champ and he could get a rematch with Shiraz and stop him, then he could hold the flag up too high, bro. I don't care.
So
You know what I'm
what have you
saying?
done lately for me, world? So you know the
That's
deal.
right. You know that.
Yeah.
You know that. So let's see. Let's see how this is gonna be an interesting year in boxing, man.
For
We
sure.
already the beginning of the year is fire. So,
Yeah.
I can't wait. I can't wait for the rest of it.
I
You
said that earlier. We usually don't get a January like this, man. We smoking, man. Mad fights, especially on January 31st. Coach, this shit was amazing, man.
My
Why
man,
haven't you come on sooner, man?
I talk too much. I
No, but
gotta, my throat already, like, I'm feeling raspy already, man.
no, listen,
Nah,
but listen, like you family here, so you welcome back anytime. You got to definitely come.
appreciate you, man. No doubt, I
Yeah.
appreciate you.
I'm gonna hit you up so I can hook up with you when I get out there, though, for sure.
Bet.
You
Bet.
know.
Sounds good, bro.
All right, man. I'm gonna let you go, man.
All
Because
right,
I
my
know I'm
brother.
going further, man. I appreciate you, Coach.
Nah, I appreciate you, man. We talk soon, all right? I'll see you soon.
You know
All
it.
right. Yo, chat. Peace. Coach
Let's
ER
go.
signing
Show
out.
up, Coach ER, some love, man. Appreciate you, Coach.
All right, bro.
All
Peace.
right. There you have it, y'all. Coach Eric Roman, man, in the building. Yeah. Coach ER, man.